Hey guys, my name is Spencer and you are watching Boosted Automotive. In today's video, I'm going to be going over every McLaren production model ever made and telling you guys about them. If you are a car guy or enjoy car content in general, don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the video. McLaren made their first car in 1969. It was dubbed the M6 GT and only 4 of them were made. And for its time, it was incredibly high-tech and innovative. The car is driven by a Chevy V8 that makes 370 horsepower and 370 pound-feet of torque. The 4.2 second 0 to 60 time and 180 mph top speed were top of the class for the time. An instant classic, the M6 GT was the first car in a long line of supercars for McLaren. McLaren made their next car in 1992, the F1. You ever heard of it? I thought so. It has a 6.1-liter V12 engine that makes 618 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. The car has a 3-seat design with the driver's seat in the middle, a concept that was unheard of at the time and still not well practiced today. The F1, designed by Gordon Murray, is widely regarded as one of the best cars ever made, and with only 106 in existence, 28 being the GTR specs, the price tag reflects that. The last known sale of the car was for $20.5 million in 2021. So if the F1 is your dream car, you better start saving. McLaren introduced their next car in 2011 when they came out with the MP412C, a stunning car designed to compete with the likes of Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. And oh boy did they deliver. It makes 616 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. Not to mention, it is able to break the 200 mph threshold with a top speed of 207 mph. The car is available in either a coupe or spider. Discontinued in 2014, the 12C was a great first step for McLaren to start making more readily available production cars. If you want to pick one up today for yourself, you can expect to pay anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000. In 2014, McLaren introduced the next model in their lineup, the 650S. It was unveiled at the 2014 Geneva Motor Show and boasts a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8, making 641 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. The car comes in a coupe or spider and piggybacks off of the innovation and design of the MP412C. In fact, 75% of the parts used in it are taken from the 12C. The car also came with a special edition version, the Can-Am. Only 50 were produced. The Can-Am has a retractable carbon fiber hardtop, a quad exhaust, and more. If you want a 650S of your own, you'll have to shell out $150,000 to $200,000. Next up, we have the 675LT, standing for Longtail. This car was a track-focused but still road-legal version of the 650S. The car is 1.5 inches longer than the 650S and has more carbon fiber, bigger brakes, and lighter wheels, not to mention 15 more horsepower and 15 more pound-feet of torque. The car is very limited with only 500 coupes and 500 spiders ever created. In order to get behind the wheel of this beauty, expect to set aside about $300,000. The 570S is one of the most affordable, popular cars McLaren has ever made. In production from 2015 to 2021, the 570S is a great first car for people wanting to get into the McLaren community. Its 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 makes 562 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque, and can do 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. The car is available in the coupe, spider, and GT variants, as well as a tuned-down version, the 540C. And for $150,000 to $175,000, you could have one of your own. Next up, we have the 620R and 600LT. Much like the 675LT, they are longer, more powerful, track-focused versions of the 570S. The 600LT does 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and makes 592 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. The 620R, essentially a 570S GT4 race car built for the road, has 612 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. The 600LT can be had for anywhere between $250,000 and $300,000, while the 620R comes in well above $300,000. Now that we have looked at all of the past McLaren models, let's look at the current ones. The 720S is a continuation of the legacy left behind by cars such as the 650S and 570S. It makes a staggering 710 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque, and has a top speed of 212 miles per hour. The car is highly customizable through McLaren's MSO configurator and can be had in either a coupe or spider. They retail from $299,000, but can be considerably more expensive depending on the options. And how could we talk about the 720S without mentioning its older brother, the 765LT, arguably the most crazy, nonsensical McLaren ever created. However, it is brilliant. With 755 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque, the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 can hit 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and 0 to 124 miles per hour in 7 seconds. Essentially, street-legal race cars. The coupe and spiders are not for the faint of heart. Much like the 720S, they are highly customizable, however not readily available to anyone. If you want one for yourself, you are going to be spending at least $600,000. The Artura, the newest car to the McLaren lineup, is the company's first take on a production hybrid. 671 horsepower, 531 pound-feet of torque, and a 3-second 0 to 60 time define this car's unbelievable performance. With smooth body lines, incredible sounds, and performance to impress, the Artura is here to stay in the lineup. You can have one today starting new at $237,000. The last production car we are going to be talking about is the McLaren GT, the most capable daily driver in the lineup. It puts an emphasis on comfort and storage without sacrificing looks or performance, doing 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds and making 612 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. The GT truly does it all, and you can have one of your own starting at $200,000. And now, let's talk about the hypercars. McLaren has an incredible collection of hypercars and limited production models under their belt. The first being the P1, a member of the Holy Trinity. It is one of the most beautiful, well-built cars of all time and just happens to be my favorite. 375 of them were made and their prices go into the millions. The twin-turbo V8 with a hybrid motor is truly impressive, making 903 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque, and does 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. It also came in a GTR variant, which turned the already crazy P1 into a cold-blooded killer. The Senna is McLaren's current track demon. It makes 789 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque, and does 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. The car is defined by its long rear end, massive wing, and high-tech aerodynamics. These track-focused animals have extremely stiff suspension to help with handling and massive brakes that have immense stopping power. It also has a GTR model, the perfect hypercar for any aspiring race car drivers. The Elva is a futuristic-looking roadster created in extremely limited numbers. The car takes a lot of inspiration from Formula One and has over 800 horsepower. Without a roof, you wouldn't be able to drive the Elva every day, but if you are lucky enough to see one in person, you will not be disappointed. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Speedtail, the fastest McLaren ever made, reaching top speeds of 250 miles per hour. It is defined by its sloping rear end and futuristic looks. Not to mention, it's a hybrid. The electric motor paired with a twin-turbo V8 takes this car from 0 to 184 miles per hour in just 13 seconds. A true spectacle, the Speedtail is truly special. And that sums up the list of every McLaren model ever produced. Comment below and let us know which manufacturers you would like us to do next. Thank you for watching.